Commercial production funding for Cookin' Cheap provided by Valleydale Packers Incorporated. I'll tell you one thing, he'll never belly flop into the water again. It hurts me just to look at it. How you doing, Laban? It's always such... Uh-oh.
You know who I'm talking about. Get the message? They better clean up their act. Well, anyway. Hi, Kirby.
I'm going to need... Whoa, whoa.
Oh, what?
I'm going to need that in a couple of minutes.
Oh, why are you using the tired old... Look at that bag of onions.
Well, the bag of onions is gone.
Is that our new floral arrangement for spring?
I need this in a couple of minutes.
No, you don't. We got a better one.
Oh, do we? Oh, yeah, that's right. We do.
We do. Occasionally we have to take inventory, which means we have to work all day to find everything. But no, we do have a better one. That one is old.
Do you have anything? I just have the worst headache today. I don't know what was wrong with me. I just can't figure it out.
Well, I think it's because you're wearing that silly toy that is pinching your already pinched head.
Now, let me tell you about this.
What? Now, don't do it, boys and girls. Don't try this trick at home because it is dangerous. Just like a body slam, which I've been thinking about.
It all came about as a result of that Indian thing I did picture with you last week.
Oh, yeah.
And Chief Sitting Bullion sent a guy out to take care of me. No, it only hurts for a little while. But anyway, so much for that.
Is that a piece of mail over there, I see?
Oh, yeah, this is a real piece of mail. People have accused us of making up letters.
Oh.
Well, we don't make up all the letters that we get.
No, we don't.
To whom it may concern. We are now to whom it may concern.
To whom.
How you doing, whom? I just wanted to let you know I've enjoyed the entertainment. I actually find it restful to come back to my apartment after a day of classes and watch two uncontrollably obnoxious men work. Thank you. Well, why don't we just go on ahead and give the name. Robin Drew Johnson of Radford, Virginia. Is that Johnson related to you?
No, but if she wants to see what big obnoxious is, she should be here today.
In actuality, I'm sure it was...
In real life.
In real life, that's right. We thank you for the letter. We always enjoy letters.
People. What?
Well, no, I think she probably wrote for a recipe.
What's stamped on the outside of that thing?
She wrote for a real recipe.
To avoid delay in delivery, advise correspondence of your correct mailing address.
What does that mean? I received a thing from the federal government.
Well, I guess that means that she's put the wrong box address on the phone, 13246. Is that it?
I don't know.
We haven't used it. I don't know.
I received a little thing the other day from the federal government, which was addressed to me at my home, and it says, please give us your mailing address. Isn't that the dumbest thing you've ever heard? Now, we paid somebody good money to come up with that.
Sure. You wait, next week you'll get a bill from the IRS for about $3,000 that they didn't know that they'd forgotten that you owed them, that they made it up.
Well,
they do that. They did that to me one time.
Just means they caught me, that's all. Problem from all the money I make off of this show.
Yeah.
What are you doing today? This is the, what is this?
I'm suffering a lot, actually.
This is the, what is this, the Sunday show?
Yes.
Even though it's not on a Sunday, don't get confused.
Well,
we may confuse a lot of people out there.
And I wish it was Sunday.
And, but I'm going to make
I may go pray for this bunch anyway.
I'm going to make a homemade cheese soup.
Oh, good. A homemade cheese. Is this with homemade cheese? Did you make this yourself?
No. Just the soup is homemade, but the cheese I had to buy.
Oh, well, I'd heard that you were cheesy.
What are you making?
What?
What are you making?
Oh, I brought some leftovers.
You know how much I always enjoy leftovers. Isn't that curry?
Especially when they weren't too good the first time.
Isn't that old curry chicken you had about 4 weeks ago, isn't it?
Well, as a matter of fact, Larry, it's coming back.
I knew it would come back again.
And again.
Oh, and again, and again, and again.
No, I'm going to make sandwiches using leftovers because, you know, people get sort of hidebound about making sandwiches and they're not very creative about it, and I just think sandwiches are wonderful and they can be good for you, too. do if you use good ingredients. So I've got some stuff I just cleaned out of my own personal refrigerator at home.
Most of what I have here today, except for the cheese itself, and you know, it could have easily been left over in the refrigerator, but it wasn't. But most everything else I had on hand, like onions and a little bit of flour and a little lump of margarine and what have you.
Did you make your own margarine?
No, I didn't make my own margarine.
Wonder how you make margarine.
I wonder if anybody knows that.
I don't know.
Well, somebody has to know.
Probably some kind of magical process.
These
if
people
you know
have to
how
know.
to make margarine, write us and tell us that, and how to retin a pot. I've got a pot that needs retinning like death, and I can't find anybody that knows where to go to do it one time. And
Well,
did you make your own?
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard of.
Oh, I mean, don't you have some pots that need to be retinned on the inside? I've got a fine copper pot that needs to be retinned, and I can't find anybody that knows where to do it.
No.
So if you know, let me know. Did you make your own bouillon?
Well, I've got to...
Did you?
I didn't for this show. I use my own bouillon at home, but I do not for this show.
Do you make your own bouillon?
Well, I mean, sometimes I use leftover, you know...
But you don't just make it?
Not always. I do sometimes, yeah.
When?
We'll just throw a little beef or something into a pot and boil it up a little bit. Sometimes take the stock, put it in the refrigerator, and hold it off for a while. And, you know, sometimes, dude, depends on what I'm going to make.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see.
If I'm going to make mashed potatoes, I'm not going to do that.
You want me to...
Well, right now, I'm going to start an onion, because what I have to do is take about a tablespoonful of finely grated onion, and I'm going to throw it in this pot here on the stove, this pan, and just a little chunk of margarine, and put that in there. I'm going to fry that up just a little bit until the old onion has gotten just a little bit waxy and soft, okay? So I'm going to do that.
Uh-oh.
Not very... What?
Our heart is having a baby.
Oh.
This is that potato heart that somebody found, and it's having a little green baby.
Well, I believe it's already got a couple more eyes on it.
Look at them.
Eyes adored you.
Well, we'll see eventually.
In the case of that potato, their eyes adored each other. Well, okay, now what I'm going to do is chop up just a little bit of onion here, and I'm going to add that in here just as soon as I get this pot heated up a little bit. This is a very simple recipe. Doesn't take very long. It's very inexpensive, and you virtually can use, with the exception of milk, you can virtually use all leftovers. If you have a little bit of stock left over at home, or you want to make stock up, and a little margarine, a little flour,
and doesn't he look a lot
the
better
ever popular onion, which you almost always have on hand. You know, it's things like this, Laban, that cause us to get the letter we received a while ago about two totally obnoxious guys on television.
Well, I don't know. Somebody said the other day that they thought you'd look better with a paper bag.
I feel so fresh in there. Anyway, I'm going to take that and just cut it up real fine. Good thing it wasn't
a plastic bag.
Real fine. Now, you go on ahead and start your sandwiches.
Well, I'm just...
What kind of sandwiches are we going to have today?
Well, I just found some mess I had at home in the... I brought some peanut butter. And I've got some bread, and that's always a good start.
Well, you got to have bread for a sandwich. Oh! Almost always have to have bread for a sandwich.
No!
What's wrong?
I've got some of that purple stuff on my finger.
What is it?
On my thumb. The mark of the school teacher. See that stuff? Oh.
He's been a marked man for years.
Nasty.
Yeah, well.
You know, when you make those little stencils, did you ever get those when you were in school?
No.
You had all your subtraction and addition. Well, I guess they didn't have that when you were little.
No, they really
They were still counting with potatoes and rocks.
They couldn't, that's right, they couldn't afford that kind of stuff.
Larry,
while you're starting there, I've got to find some equipment.
All right. Well, what I'm doing now, I've got some peanut butter and some bread.
Well, miracle of all miracles, I found what I was looking for in less than 20 minutes.
Why didn't you close the door to the cabinet?
Oh, excuse me.
Uh-oh, my stomach is talking. Now, this is a lovely peanut butter sandwich with some leftover peanut butter that I had.
Stomach like that, it must be some conversation.
Listen to them laughing up back there in the control room. They'd better be laughing.
Hey, listen, anything I do here today about you will probably get a laugh.
Yeah.
All right. Even that got a laugh. All right. I'm going to take that onion now. I'm just going to put it in there. Fry those up just a little bit. You don't really want to fry them. You just want to saute them.
You want to fry them down.
Well, you want to fry them down, not up. I don't know. Do you fry them up or do you fry them down? I guess you fry them down.
Yeah, what you do. Anyway, I've got some pecan pieces here. right here in my hand. There they are. They're right here.
Did you say peacock pieces?
Pecan pieces.
Oh, I thought we were
And
having
I'm
some
sprinkling
kind of a
them.
bird sandwich today.
No, no.
Well, that looks absolutely awful.
And I'm putting them right here.
I believe we're off to a rip-roaring start on the
camera
sandwich.
we got on his head?
I think
Oh, Boston Red Sox. Oh.
Hey.
Are they going to operate again this year?
I hope so.
Maybe they'll do better than they did last year.
You know, I think of him every time I see that woman on that commercial. Says, I got a cold. It's a rattin'. Hear that girl? Rattin'.
Now, Larry, I've got this peanut butter with some pecans on it, and over here I have got.
Ooh, boy, there's something else that looks real good. Was it prunes in there?
Yeah, this is a piece of pineapple that I cooked in this dish of chicken over here. So I've got now pineapple, this was dried pineapple that was reconstituted, and some pecans and some peanut butter. And now I'm just going to kind of mash it down, and we'll cut it.
Is this what you eat at home when you fix things from out of your refrigerator?
Mm-hmm. And I'll do it like this so that we have attractively.
Yeah, that's attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to take a little
Would you like to try it?
peanut butter, pineapple, and nuts, and bread.
Mm.
Peanut butter stuck. It all is right here.
Mm-hmm. Is
Fortunately,
it making your upper plate
fortunately I
get
had
out of adjustment?
took a shot of Fix-A-Dent before I came in, and it's all hanging right in there.
That's real good, isn't it?
You know, it's not bad. It's not bad. The kid knows what he's doing. Kid.
Since you're so much older than I am.
My onions are starting to just fry just ever so lightly on top of the stove. Here's a startling overhead shot. Look at that. It's amazing.
What did your family say about that photo we had of you last week?
They were shocked. That photo was copyrighted, and we're going to take you to the Supreme Court.
I'd like to see that.
Anyway, now I have to take a little cheddar cheese. We need about, I believe I've lost it on the recipe. 3/4 cup of grated cheddar cheese. I've got a little sharp cheese here, Longhorn. Why do they call it that? Do you know? Longhorn cheese.
Because, see, they make it down in Texas, and they have these bulls that they rope and throw to the ground, and then when they've been real mean and nasty and hard to deal with and get along with, they cut the horns off.
This was made in Topeka, Kansas.
They got them out in Kansas, too. Anyway, they cut the horns off, and then when they make the cheese, they use the horns to mash the whey down into the mold to make the cheese right, and then they got sharp points on them where
3/4 cups.
Rip people up to shreds when they don't do what they're supposed to do. And so anyway, they use these sharp pointed horns to cut the cheese with up into the little rounds before they put them in those cellophane packages. And then sometimes the wives of the people at the plant wear the horns on their helmet when they play football.
3/4 cup.
Well, you wanted to know.
All right, now what we're going to do now is we're going to stir in about a tablespoonful of flour. I have to have a spoon.
What kind?
Excuse me.
What kind you want?
Excuse me, tablespoon.
Take that one.
No,
Ooh.
I need something I can...
You want a measuring spoon?
Tablespoon. And I need something to stir it with. Give me something to stir it with. Thank you. All right. A tablespoonful of flour. Stick that in there. I'm going to stir it around a little bit and just brown it just a tad little bit, not a tad little bit, a tad little bit. That stuff in there. Brown it up a little bit because we're going to make the ever popular, often referred to roux, I believe it is you enjoy chatting about.
You'll rue this day.
I know. Anyway. Now back to leaving with his sandwich while that browns a little bit.
Well, now I've got there's some chicken down in here. And
Let me know when you get to the prunes because I'm going to leave.
Well, no, I expect you need it. Anyway, here's a piece of chicken breasty, and
I knew you'd drag those things back again.
No, you know, the chicken is good for you because it has the right kind of fat. It's unsaturated fat. Now I'm slicing some of this chicken breast without the skin. You leave the skin off, and this, it is kind of a mess. But you can get some real pretty chicken meat.
This is brown enough now. I've got to do something with it right this minute. I'm real sorry. You brown it for about a total of about 3 minutes, and then you stir in 1 cup of fairly strong, very slowly, stir in about a cup of bouillon or stock of some kind, beef stock, beef bouillon. Stir it in rather slowly and whisk it up real good. You don't want to get it lumpy. And in just a couple of minutes, we're going to take a little milk. I've got some skimmed milk today. You know why I've got some skimmed milk?
Why?
Because you raised so much of a ruckus last week about your valves clogging up, and he doesn't want to have another one of those expensive operations. So we're using a little skim milk today, just to sort of cut down on the intake of.
Now, Larry, while you're doing that, I'm going to pull out. This is some of the sauce that was left over from this dish. That's down in here.
What was this dish in its original form?
This was a chicken casserole using dried fruit, and it just makes a wonderfully delicious sauce that's got there's some onions in it, and it's also got some vinegar. You don't need any sugar because the fruit is sweet enough, so it's a delicious dish.
Now I'm going to stir in about 2 cups of skimmed milk. You can use regular milk or cream if you want to make it even thicker. About 2 cups, in this case we're using skim milk because of Laban's condition. We have to watch out for him. And again, you stir that in, keep whisking along, and there we go with that. In just a little bit, we're going to stir in 3/4 cup of grated Longhorn cheese, cheddar cheese.
Now, Larry, while you're doing that, right now I'm picking out some apricots that were in with the dried fruit to go with this. And now here's our chicken and our apricots. Oh, I need a paper towel. Ooh.
Here's one.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
How much you give me for it?
I won't put my greasy hands on your shirt if you give it to me right now. That usually works.
That was the last paper towel, I want to tell you. Sometimes I've been known to make 50 cents, 75 cents here at the station when you're holding the last paper towel.
Remember back in the old days before things got tight, that they used to have paper towels down here for us?
I never can remember a time when you weren't a little on the tight side. Money.
Well, now here's another sandwich. You want to taste this one?
Oh, I can hardly wait.
This is chicken and apricots. Isn't that delicious?
That's pretty good. This isn't my favorite. The other one was better than this one was, but it's all right.
Well, I'm going to do another one in a minute. Peanut butter and figs.
Yeah. I've got to put this cheese in here so it'll melt. 3/4 cup of cheese or so. And we're going to melt that down in there too. Make sure you stir that all around. The cheese is now in there. That's a rather peculiar looking color to it, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks what would you call that color?
Child's river.
What? What was that?
I don't think you can repeat it even on this show.
Can't repeat that even on this program. It must have been bad. Let's review some prices sometime. Cheese soup, tablespoonful of butter, tablespoonful of chopped onions, tablespoonful of flour, cup of beef stock left over if you got it, 2 cups of milk. In this case, we're using a little skim milk. That's why this doesn't have such a pretty color to it. 3/4 cup cheddar cheese, a little paprika. I couldn't find any. We won't be throwing any paprika on this murky looking stuff. Serves 4 at about 40 cents each, and someone says, well, golly, you can buy Campbell's for that price. But the fact is, it's not homemade soup.
All right, the leftover sandwiches, you need bread, leftovers, and salad dressing if you've got leftover meat, because a real tangy salad dressing is always tasty. And no cost, because you just get it out of the refrigerator.
What say we check in with the sisters cook?
Oh, are they here
Today. Well, if they got their last paycheck, they might be. I don't know.
I don't know. They might not come. But let's see. Are they out there? Oh, yeah.
I believe they are. Here they come right now.
They got a hat.
Sis, that reminds me of you. Same old grind.
Oh, you're such a load of laughs.
I know. Listen, I have a little tip for you.
Oh,
and
what
for
is
you
it?
too, while as long as you're looking in today or tonight or next week or whenever it is. To shorten the baking time of a potato, boil it 10 minutes in its jacket. And that will reduce the baking time by 15 minutes.
Well, I'm so glad to know that you can save 5 minutes
Well, you can.
of energy.
Well, when
How
you
much
get
is that worth? I mean, did you use that much closing up the dishwasher? Or that hot water that
Well,
you
in this day and
extended?
age, as old as you're getting,
That's the dumbest hint I ever heard. Dumb.
you need all the time you
It's
can get
just
when you get
dumb.
my age.
Yeah.
Shut up. I'm Tootsie Cook.
And I'm Sister Cook.
And we're
the
Cook
sisters.
Well, ooh, they're getting irascible.
I believe this is the murkiest looking soup I ever came up
That
with in
is
my
bizarre
life.
looking.
It is rather bizarre in
All right,
color.
now, Larry, look,
It doesn't have much of a pretty color. It's kind of the same. It sort of looks a little like Laban's face. You know?
Oh,
Sort
aren't
of
you
got
sweet?
that same color to it. After
Now, I've got my
recent
peanut
vacation.
butter sandwich over here, and I'm putting some, these were Turkish figs that were in
Watch
here.
your mouth.
Well, they were. And I don't give a
Now,
fig.
how many people have Turkish figs laying
Well,
in the
you can get 'em
refrigerator
around.
as leftovers?
Well, I did. I can't help it if people live dull, uninteresting lives.
Turkish figs.
You know, I mean, life, you only go around once. You have to have a good time. That looks good. Huh?
Do you eat a lot of Turkish figs at your place?
Not too often, but I
Lot?
have them every once in a while.
You have these left over all the time, huh?
I wanted a frail of figs.
If I had a Turkish fig,
Do you
they'd
know
be
what a
left over.
frail of figs is?
No, I don't think I do.
Well, that is an old expression that they used to use for a basket of figs.
Huh.
And
A frail of figs.
A frail of figs. This one looks so good, I'm going to try it myself.
What say we see our letter for the day while I'm looking
This
for
is
a
really
couple?
good,
Got
Larry.
it somewhere here. I'm sure that the witch is going to come flying in any moment with the letter of the day. Letters from around the world.
There she comes.
There she
Mrs.
comes.
Susan. Got you, old witch.
There's not many places left on her head that doesn't have pen marks on it, you know?
She loves it.
I know she does. See what it
Oh, there
says.
she goes.
She's been making these fancy exits lately, have you noticed that? Dear guys, I knew Betty Crocker before she was a picture on those cake boxes. She was a good woman, and now she's a real good cake. Although I know you can't understand my affections for her. I remember she always smelled like chocolate. By the way, do you guys have any good pork recipes? Sincerely, Duncan Hines. Well, do you, what do you think about that, Laban? Do we have any good pork recipes?
Well, Larry, frankly, pork could get us in a lot of trouble with the heart people. No, actually, I do. I've got one with pork tenderloin that is approved by the American Heart Association.
Oh, I have a wonderful one next week that is just going to set you back.
All right,
when you eat
well, we'll do that. I'll even do a heart attack pork recipe.
We are going to have a show called Let's Be Frank About Pork next week. That's going to be the big one here. I can't find, I have a rather unusual situation we have come upon here on the Cookin' Sheep set, and that is that there are no cups or saucers from which we, or bowls, which we might eat the soup. Well, so we're just going to have
Now,
to
well,
try.
wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. I know there's got to be a way that we can do it, Larry. Let me just put up my...
That old saying, where there's a Laban, there's a way.
Sure.
All right. Well, I'll just continue.
You just keep stirring because I'm sure there's something up here that we can use. Here we go.
I can hardly wait. I know he's up to something back there.
Well, here, I mean, this one's real dirty, so I guess we can't use it, but this one could pass.
Well, my soup is now ready.
Oh, wait a minute. We could have them out of this. We could use these pie pans.
Well, get some spoons out. This soup looks even better in a pie pan. I'll give it soup a try. See how good it is. Or what have you.
These are the only spoons we have.
I know he's just doing this so he won't have to eat the stuff. I'm sure that's what it's all about.
That's it. They have hit again. Wait a minute. Here, these wooden spoons will work. Here,
Yeah.
here.
I already have one.
Oh.
It's pretty
Well,
tasty.
Larry, it's good.
It's pretty tasty. And let's see, which sandwich am I going to have now? Is this the prune pit one?
No, that's the figgy sandwich.
Oh, the figgy. I hadn't tried the figgy one yet, so we're going to try the figgy one here.
Figgy.
Turkish figs?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Well, it's not a terribly expensive meal, and it's a pretty good one for when you're just sitting around on a Sunday and don't want to rustle up an entire meal. But you just want something that's hot and something that's cold, and you want to use up all those Turkish figs in your refrigerator. We'll be back next
bye,
week
everybody.
with pork. Goodbye. When writing for today's recipes, please signify show number 316. Partial production funding for Cookin' Cheap provided by Valleydale Packers Incorporated.